So we have now learned the distance and midpoint formula and how to use it. You might be saying, hey, that's a little too easy. Well, it is. So examples 2, 3, and 4 use the same formulas, but in a little bit of a different capacity. So example 2 says the midpoint of the line segment from P1 to P2 is -1, 4. So there's my midpoint. If P1 is -3, 6, so there's my X1, Y1. What is P2? So P2 needs to be wrote as an ordered pair, X comma Y. And so if we were labeling, this would be my X2, Y2. Okay, so I'm going to just rewrite my formula for midpoint. Midpoint equals X1 plus X2 divided by 2, comma, Y1 plus Y2 divided by 2. So now let's substitute everything in. My midpoint is -1, 4. X1 is -3 plus X2, I don't know, so I'm just going to call that X. Y1 is 6. Y2, I don't know, so that's going to be plus Y. Okay, from here, we need to kind of break this up a little bit to find our two different variables. I have two unknowns that I need to solve for. But I know that this right here gives me my X coordinate, and here's my X coordinate of my midpoint. So what I'm going to do is set my X coordinate equal to my X coordinate. So we have -1 equals -3 plus X divided by 2. Okay, let's solve this and then we'll set up our Y. So we need to multiply 2 over. So I've got -2 equals -3 plus X, and then we will add our 3 over to get 1 equals X. So there is my X coordinate to P2. So now we need to get our Y. So to do that, do the exact same thing. I need to set up my Y coordinate here of my midpoint equal to the Y coordinate here. So now I have 4 equals 6 plus Y over 2. So we will multiply by 2 again and get 8 equals 6 plus Y. Subtract our 6, and we've got 2 equals Y. So now I have my X and my Y coordinate of P2. So we have found that P2 equals X is 1, Y is 2. Okay, and I probably should have explained what we were doing to begin with before we started this. So I'm sorry about that. But what we had was my midpoint. If I draw it kind of up here, I knew what my midpoint was, and I knew my P1 over here. What I didn't know was the other half of that. So I now have those two endpoints with the middle, but I was given the middle and one endpoint trying to find that other one there. So sorry I didn't kind of explain that before we solved it, but we now have our point 2.